If you retire at 65, 45% of you are going to go broke. This is so freaking stupid. Oh, my goodness. Here is Sarah Lee Kane, AFC. I don't know what that means. The American Football Conference? I don't know. I guess she likes the Bills. Yeah, I'll take the Falcons and the Redskins. Redskins. Why you got to call yourself the Commanders? Why don't you just call yourself the Lieutenant Colonels? We're the Commanders. We're 05s. Wow. Call yourself the Corporals in. Someone's drinking his water over here like crazy. I don't know if y'all can see that. Look at that guy. Drinking McGee. Wow, thirsty boy. He is thirsty. Look at him just chowing on that water. So thirsty. Yeah, let's look at this. He's still doing it. Americans hanging up at 65, 45% go broke. All right, 3 mistakes to avoid. Oh, it's a recent research report from Morningstar. Huh, how ironic that I actually have that paper right here, as a matter of fact. Interesting. That's kind of interesting. So let's check this out. So they say almost half of Americans most likely won't have enough money to pay for costs relative to their predicted spending. Let's see. Stop offering so much financial support to your adult kids. Don't buy luxury toys such as a car or boat. And you don't have to save enough for Medicare. All right, so let's, or medical stuff. Okay, all right, let's see. What is the Morningstar model of U.S. retirement outcomes? It's a complex simulation model by Spencer Look and Jack Vanderhei. I'm familiar with Jack. He used to work over at the EBRI. Let's see. The model allows the researchers to predict the effects of policy, product design, behavioral changes, and other variables on retirement readiness. A complex simulation model that allows the authors, dude, I can make a model that says you're all going to be multi-millionaires because I use my complex simulation model to predict the effects of policy changes, product design, behavioral changes, whatnot. All right, let's take a look. This reminds me so much of the climate change stuff. Oh my God. I should be sitting, I'm in North Atlanta, north of Fulton County, Georgia. I should be looking at the Atlantic Ocean right now, according to the climate guys. A simulation model estimates real-life outcomes by using mathematics and logic to calculate the impact of a variable or set of variables on a particular outcome. In this case, the Morningstar model considers the uncertainties in an individual's life and career path and investments to provide an assessment of their prospects for an adequate retirement. How do you define adequate retirement? As having enough financial resources to cover expenses that may occur during retirement. The model predicts household retirement expenses, including potentially catastrophic long-term expenses. If the household is projected to run short of money, we assume that any net housing equity is liquidated to use to cover expenses. If the household cannot pay their expenses, then we determine that the retirement wealth is not adequate. So you're... So you're going to tell me that 45% are going to run out of money because they literally say they go broke, they run out of money, and that includes their household wealth? I like Jack Vanderday or Hay or whatever his name is. I've read many articles from him. What? The model predicts household retirement expenses. If the household's projected to run short of money, we assume they liquidate any housing equity. And what? The model takes input from the Survey of Consumer Finances and runs it through a series of calculations depending on the scenarios being analyzed. Input data may include variables such as age, salary, race, gender, marital status, blah, blah, blah. The model takes a random approach to simulations, generating 1,000 alternative lifestyles. They say life paths, but I just had to say alternative lifestyles because you may be one of the silent P's out there in the 57 flavors. This is done in recognition that a multiple of random life events may affect households members during their working years in retirement. It consists of 2 parts, the accumulation and decumulation. The model simulates retirement income wealth that may be mass resource. Okay. Retirement expenses, including those for long-term supports and services, are project for each child's life path. All right, so why are we doing? All right, come on. We found that many models tend to ignore individuals once they reach retirement age. That's literally not true. Instead, they estimate a replacement rate, which refers to the percentage of pre-retirement income that be placed and replaced in retirement. We do not do this. We calculate retirement funding ratios for each life path. The numerator is the sum of real inflation-adjusted income. All right. The denominator is the sum of real inflation-adjusted expenses through retirement. Who has access to the model? Given the sensitivity around the data used, it's currently housed in an access-restricted location within Morningstar Retirement. Only our researchers have access to it. It's kind of like look, man, how dare you ask questions? What does that remind you of? The pandemic. How dare you ask where it originated in, if it even exists? How dare you ask what the models are for? No, I'm not going to get into it because I'll get banned forever. Let's see. Any model that, this is like Michael Mann's freaking model on the hockey stick for global warming. Any model that restricts access is not a model that's worthwhile even talking about. I didn't even know that restricted access before I read this. Michael Mann was sued, or he actually sued a guy named Tim Ball out of Canada for challenging his data, right? And when Tim Ball went to the court, said, well, we can settle this once and for all. Let's just see the data. And then Michael Mann refused to show the data. And as such, Michael Mann was found, guilty or ruled against, and he had to pay Tim Ball money because basically Michael Mann, disparaged him, or so I can't remember what it's called. So Michael Mann sued Tim Ball, lost because Michael Mann refused to show his hockey stick data. And the judge in Canada said, well, you owe him money then. Not just the cost of the courts, but all the other stuff that you basically disparaged him. Tim Ball went on to die. Michael Mann owes Tim Ball's estate money he'll never pay because he'll never want his climate data to be looked at. If you can't see the data, it's not worth the bytes that's done typed on here, which is unfortunate because I like Morningstar and I like that guy Jack Vanderhay. But if I can't see the data, what are we doing here? We're gonna have a couple guys with their PhD and one with the FSA. I don't even know what that is. Who are gonna tell us that their models are this. We can't see the model. Nah. All right, love your thoughts. God bless. Just don't forget to you take this right here and you go like that, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson, that like button.